Hello, everyone. You're listening to Project 1000, an idea from a group of Indian high schoolers who decided to make a podcast on one random morning. What makes us different as compared to any other podcast is our unique point of view.
Rarely are kids able to voice their views of what's going on in today's world. So we want to share our insights about everything from pop culture to current events, all the way to sports.
We welcome you to our journey as we invite exciting guests from all over the world to sit down with us and talk about our unique experiences in this idea we call life. Without further ado, let us begin.
So, how the hell did we get to the point where we're sitting in Ayan's bedroom using an iPhone as a microphone and starting a podcast? You guys want to tell them?
You just woke up one day and called me and you were just like, hey bro, we should start a podcast because you saw one of your friends who had one.
Shout out to Vidyu, by the way. He started Rama Rundown, and I was like, wow, this is a very interesting way to express yourself, your ideas, perspectives. So I was like, hey man, let's just do it, and we began.
I'm pretty sure our parents were pretty happy considering that they're always like, we're on our phones. So I mean, using that time constructively definitely helps.
Exactly.
Zaid, what were your thoughts, bro?
Exactly. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, all right. So we've grouped up together, and we've done a lot of ideas. When it comes to YouTube channels, to a non-profit organization, and now we're at a podcast. So what if we fail this idea as well?
Hey man, that's why it's called Project 1000. Before this, we've had thousands of different ideas, and like most times, like 1,000% of the time, they don't work.
Sayan, you want to tell them how many names we had before we got to Project 1000?
Oh, we had so many names. It took honestly a while to get to Project 1000, and honestly, that was probably the best we could do, and it represents us.
I like it, but it has a meaning to it. So basically why we chose 1000 was, when I gathered my friends and family and I was like, what should I name this podcast? They were like, what are you going to talk about? And that's the cool thing about this podcast is it doesn't have one topic. It has, hence, 1000 different topics. We named it Project 1000, but the other reason is,
well, 1000 ends in S-A-N-D. You take the 4 people that started this, Sayan, myself, Ayan, Neel, and Divij, and it makes S-A-N-D as a... What is it called?
acronym.
No, I don't think it is. Maybe. All right.
Well, give us an applause for that brilliant idea. That's now. All right. So yeah, basically why I have belief in this idea is because the chemistry between all 4 of us.
Listen,
right?
The chemistry isn't so hot here, okay? We were gonna call this podcast Curry Comment.
I like that name. Anyway. But when I think we have the chemistry between all of us because each way we met is so unique. We did not like each other at one point. We hated each other. We were like enemies.
That's the thing. I've had beef with literally every person I'm close with.
Man,
right
even
now.
me and Ayan
Divij
had beef at one
was
point.
my 3rd grade. Sayan, he's been my we've been rivals since we were born, basically for 14 years of our lives. Me and Divij, he was my 3rd grade bully. So I mean, I reported him
And you guys are wondering why Neel isn't here because we're beefing with him right now. I'm kidding. He's in India. He's busy, but tell him about the bully in third. How was I a bully to you in the 3rd grade?
I was in the stall, minding my own business, using the restroom as usual. Then all of a sudden, man's Divij throws a wet paper towel, knowing it was me in that stall, into the stall.
You're making it seem so, one-sided. So basically what happened was, at the time, I thought me and Ayan were tight, we were the bestest of friends. Ayan did not think the same. I think he hated me at that point. So I was like, all right, I'm going to mess around. Me and him are the only ones in the bathroom. Let me mess around. And I threw a paper towel over the stall. And Ayan was laughing. So I was like, all right, this is funny. And I'm a funny guy.
No, bro, I was laughing. No. I was crying. I just wasn't showing my fear because I was a tiny little kid in a big world.
So what happens after that is I go back to my class. And then Ayan's teacher walks into the room and says, where is Divij? I need to talk to him. I walk out and Ayan is waiting there. And then he told the teacher and I was like, wow, so he does not like me. And then, and then after that incident, until the 8th grade, we beefed. We basically did not talk.
Yeah.
We both were friends with Neel, but we were not friends with each other. until like ninth grade, beginning of ninth grade. We were
Yeah.
forced to see each other because Neil was there. We're all hanging out together, and then
Yeah.
after that we became friends. But
Like, yeah, I would say like you're like one of my closest friends. Now. You're like my brother. Like,
exactly.
but yeah, like in third grade, yeah, you were like my arch nemesis. Like I wanted to kill you. It was all good. And
Hey,
with
dude.
Sayan, it was like he's been dealing with that 14 years of his life, man. He was like I'm not gonna exaggerate it, but he was the loser cousin. Like
Damn.
he was like we would watch horror movies and mans would just go play Minecraft downstairs. Like I mean
But Sayan, when was the first time you and I are cousins? But when was the first time you actually heard about me? Like with him talk about me.
I would have to say around last year. Like he introduced me to you and Neel, of course, and
Yeah.
I feel like that was good because me and my cousin Neel, we ended up coming down to Las Vegas this past spring
But the thing
break.
is, we weren't always like okay. Like maybe you didn't feel the same way, but I wasn't always like, your bestest friend. Ian introduced me as someone who's really good at basketball. Me being a very
oh
competitive
boy was I wrong.
Me being a very competitive person, I thought, okay, I beat Neel at basketball. I beat Ayan at basketball, but there's this new guy named Sayan, and I was very nervous. I knew Ayan was like, yo, my cousin's coming down in like October, come down and play basketball with him. I guarantee he'll beat you. And I was so
But
nervous.
I was
like,
honestly pretty nervous too.
Man, he came down during spring break and we played basketball. Man, Sayan, have you gone downhill? Because I beat you and Divij beat you. I'm sure if Neel wasn't dying, he would have also beat you.
Yeah, but we don't talk
And,
about those
by the
times
way,
anymore.
yeah, for the record, there's two Neels. One of them is on our side of the family, and then the other one is our friend Neel, which is on here. He's the one with the deviated septum.
Yeah. So I was like super nervous, but after a while, man, we actually got together. Like we had same amount of jokes. We had like everything matched.
Yeah.
All of our sense of humor matched together. So that's why I was like that's why I chose you guys as the perfect people to start the podcast.
Yeah, I completely agree
So
with that.
enough about us. I know we've been talking a lot about us. But you guys might be wondering what like other projects we've done. At least like me and Ayan and Neel. Maybe Sayan was like, yeah, he was there supporting us, but he was a part of it. But it was the Blue Wheel. You want to explain what the Blue Wheel was?
Well, I started a nonprofit organization a couple months back about trying to clean the waste in India, or especially like trying to bring more sanitization to India, as far as like toilets, stuff like necessities, hygienic necessities. And I thought, I'd bring Neel and Divij on just to see if we can get some recognition. It never worked out because we didn't get anyone to come through and stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's the lack of resources that
Yeah.
we
it was fun.
yeah, it was fun
It was a
while it
fun
lasted.
time.
We actually even created a group with a bunch of people who were supporting the cause, which was interesting.
Yes.
All right, so we did that, but okay, so we started Project 1000. What kind of ideas do you have for this podcast for the future?
I mean, I literally don't care. Like, we're gonna bring special guests on.
Yeah.
Like I have some really good people in mind. I'm talking like, I don't know.
Yeah, you guys have to wait and see. But I don't know. The thing is that we like this episode might just be talking about us, what we have for the future, and you guys shouldn't judge the podcast based off of this one single episode because we don't have any guests, but we have a whole lot of ambition for who's gonna come on to our podcast, talk about their experiences. I mean, each one of us even have an interesting trait, So I think Project 1000 is definitely gonna introduce our perspective, like we said in the intro, to to the world, even to our high school, Clark. A lot of the viewers are from Clark, so we can talk about multiple different stuff.
Like how people get shanked at Clark and
Yeah.
people be getting sprayed. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
interesting.
definitely.
It's a
Yeah.
safe. What about Sayan? So you don't go to Clark, but how is your high school? Like, is it safe? Is it like sound where you don't get shanked on a random Wednesday morning?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is a good area. I mean, obviously, it's down in LA.
Everyone who doesn't go to Clark are like they get shanked.
hey, bro. He goes in a good area. You know what good area means? Snoop Dogg used to live in
Yeah,
that area.
Snoop Dogg
really?
actually used to live about like 10 minutes away from me, in this like gated community.
Yeah.
No, I mean our school is like because apparently there's like a theory, right? 4 years ago, when we were like in 8th grade, somebody brought a gun to school.
Oh yeah.
But
I think I heard
the thing
this.
is, they caught the person who brought it,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't caught the gun.
Oh wow,
Oh damn.
And to this day, they don't have the gun,
that's crazy.
which is
Kinda
that's
suspicious,
crazy,
man.
bro.
It's kind of suspicious.
You let somebody get.
Hey,
get
so
that.
at least at our school, you know, I mean, not that I have a girlfriend or anything, but like if I did, she didn't go get beat up.
Exactly, she didn't get shanked. You know, you have that safe thought.
It's okay, Sayan. You'll
Okay.
get over it.
So basically, what happens is that like in this first episode, our plan is basically to introduce ourselves as best as we can, and let's start with Ayan for me. So Ayan is many things. He's intelligent. He's scrawny. But what's most interesting is he's a Trump supporter, and I'm not saying that in a bad or good way. I'm just saying he's a pride Trump supporter. Like he has pride in being a Trump supporter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Make America great again. Like
tell
I
him-
wear my bright red hat.
Tell him the story of when you came to school with the hat. And
Oh. Yeah, so I came to school with the hat, and after school I was wearing it, which is perfectly allowed. Like I wasn't breaking any campus rules. Like I can wear the hat after school hours. So I was wearing it, and these group of black kids came up to me, or were they Mexican? I don't know, whichever.
Mhm.
They came up to me and they were just like, "Hey man, we're gonna need you to take the hat off, or we're gonna take it off for you." And me being as stupid as I am, decided to say, "No, I'm not gonna take it off." And before they could start anything, and you know, this teacher came up to me, or like this admin came up to me. And she grabbed my shoulder like pretty tight. Like I don't know why you'd grab me, but she did. And she was just like, "Hey, you gotta take that off. It's offensive." Obviously, once again, me being just as stupid as I always
the thing
am.
is with Ayan, you tell him something. If a teacher tells him something, he doesn't listen that easily. He has to fight against them to
Well, no,
kinda get
it's not for everything. It's for things I believe in.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this
yeah.
is something I believe in. And I
Right.
was just like, no, I'm not gonna take my hat off. And then she's like explaining to me how it's wrong. And you just see, I just
No.
look behind me and I see Divij and Neel just standing there, and they're like, "All right, Ayan, I gotta go, man. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow."
So we're saying goodbye. Then I turn around and he's talking to the admin and his hat is off. I'm like, all right, what has happened to where the point that Ayan has taken off his hat? So I'm just standing there. I'm like, what's happening? And then I didn't understand what happened obviously until after the conversation was over. But that's crazy. I mean, Sayan, what do you think, man? What do you think about your cousin getting into trouble out here?
I mean, it's just him being himself, like standing up for what he believes in. Like I can totally respect that, but then I feel like the admin should have also like taken it from his point of view,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
The thing is, in our school, I've never seen somebody wear that hat
it was-
before.
it was
and
probably
Ayan's
the
been
first.
Right, and the reason, I don't know, the reason we're talking about, politics, I know it's not like we talked about our unique experiences different from many other podcasts, and we're not going to go heavily into, politics, but me and Ayan are in speech and debate, and the thing that, we were talking, and when we get into debate cases, right, our families just hate us. Like, they want to kick us out of our house. What we do is we call each other on the phone, and we're partners, but we call each other on the phone, and we start yelling at each other. We start let's say Ayan's pro of something, I'm con of something. I start screaming on the top of my lungs, and I'm like, no, bro, you're wrong. This is, Time says this. Washington Post says this, and we just thought what would a unique experience is like bringing these types of debates or these types of conversations into the podcast, and obviously not everyone's going to be interested in it, but. We thought, we say some smart stuff, we say some dumb stuff.
No, 99% of it's dumb. Like 1% of it's actually like intellectual.
But
like our parents literally hate us. Like my mom's come into my room on multiple occasions and been like, "Bro, you gotta take it easy on Divij. Don't be yelling at your friends." And I was just like, "Hey, man, that's like our best ideas are coming out. I'm writing one side of the case, and he's writing the other side,
yeah.
and
I love it. I love the argument.
and we get to fortify our cases by like weakening him.
Right?
By,
Yeah. We get different perspectives, different arguments, and then But
yeah.
Sayan, do you have speech and debate?
I do, but I sadly I'm not a part of it.
Why not, bro? We can all have debates. Neil's in speech and debate also, but I don't know.
Saying someone's good is an overstatement. No, I'm just kidding.
But I don't know if you guys are interested in in listening to our debates, then obviously state in the comments below. But we're gonna have all sorts of things. From make sure to tune in next week. We have a great guest coming on. He's gonna be talking about nonprofits. We're gonna talk about the blue wheel of what happened. So yeah, so there's a lot of different perspectives. So we know Ayan, heavily into politics, really good debater, really intelligent, still scrawny. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
definitely, 100%. No,
Okay, but
hey man, leave me alone.
We're to
This one-
fight.
see, after third grade, he's still my bully. Like, but you didn't change.
We're to get into a fight, man. All right. Now the interesting thing I like about Sayan is he resells shoes, right? Like, is that the proper
Like
term?
without a job, like he's making
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and this is like something we
selling-
rarely ever see us like in our grade. Like without a job, you're making money and you're like independent, so like where you can like do stuff on your own. You know, you don't really have to ask your parents for food. He does that, and like, do you want to explain what you do basically?
So
Sam?
basically, what I do is, like, when there's a crazy, limited, hyped up, high demand shoe that comes out, I'm usually there to buy the shoe for its retail price, and then I go online. There's this app called StockX. You go there, you can check the market price of the shoe, and then sometimes the market price will go up and down. You never know what's gonna happen,
Right.
so you always gotta keep an eye on that. And what I do is, like, when the prices are at its peak, I just sell whatever I just bought, and whatever I get back in return is my profit.
And then gets you profit,
So,
right?
craziest shoe. Let us know.
Yeah. What's the best shoe you've got?
Craziest shoe. That would have to be. It was back in, I would say, December. I was actually okay. So this happened a few days before my school ended. There was the off-white black Air Force Ones coming out.
Oh,
So I didn't think I was gonna get them, but I just entered in the drawing. Nike usually has like this 2 to 3 minute span. You enter in your payment, enter in your name, address, and all that stuff, and then they put you in this pool, and then they just start selecting random people based on the demand they have in the stock. So, I didn't think I was gonna get it, but I just saw this notification come up on my phone from my bank saying, "Oh, I got charged." I was flipping out. This was like 7 a.m. in the morning. I was flipping out. Unbelievable. And then,
how fast do you have to be to be able to like get the get the item?
I mean, it depends. Like, if it's like a first come first serve, like basically what the name is, then you just got to be like spot on quick. If it's like Nike, what they do is they usually have like a 2 to 3 minute span. Once they have everyone locked in, then they start selecting. For Adidas, like specifically for Yeezys, what they do is they have this big waiting room, and what I do, I kind of cheat my way into it. So I open up like 20 different windows on my own computer till my computer starts lagging, and I just have that Adidas Yeezy page open where it says you're in the waiting room, and then once they start selecting, if I have 20 windows open rather than one, then I have a greater chance to get the shoe, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
Dude, like I saw you because like last weekend I believe it
last
was
weekend.
you were in Vegas and we went to sleep pretty late.
it was like
We went to
3
sleep
a.m.
around,
when we
I
slept.
think it was 3:30. Yeah, 3 or 4. And I had a test in the morning, so I got up in the morning to go take my test, and it was around like 7, I think, or 6. I know it was like
6.
around 6. Yeah. And I wake up at 6, and I just see Sayan on his laptop. Like having like 45 tabs open just for
Yeah,
Yeezys.
bro.
And
Crazy.
that day, like throughout my test, I'm getting notifications, and he's like, I got another, I got another.
Wait,
unbelievable.
you got him? That's nice. Wait, so how many roughly shoes do you think you have sold?
Total, I would say
Yeah.
not a lot. I mean, like, I haven't been doing this for long. I would say about like 20, 25. But
Yeah, but these are like high end.
Yeah, these are
products, right?
high-end. So like back to what
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
saying about like what's the craziest shoe I've copped. So I bought those
Yeah.
off-white Nike Air Force Ones, black, for 109 for I believe it was 175 retail, around there. And then the crazy thing is, the day before they came in, I flew out to India. It was winter break. So I was just like,
Oh yeah.
I was just,
I saw you
but
there
I was
too.
spazzing out. I'm like, I need to be there when my package comes in. But unfortunately, it didn't come in on time. I left the day before. So then my whole entire India trip, but every day I wake up, check the prices. Go to sleep, check the prices.
Was the Wi-Fi good there? I mean, was it like
Well,
quick?
like I had like my own data, so
Yeah.
No, wherever
So-
I am, I'm just checking
okay, so you-
prices. And then
So you sell the shoes, but do you keep any of them? Like how many do you know? Do you like,
normally
at least like a shoe collection? do you
normally
have?
I don't keep them, just because I get like a better margin back on my returns for my
Right.
profit. I mean, maybe in the future I'll start keeping a few if I get multiples. Right now I'm just like sticking to just selling.
But that's the thing, right? Like, what if you can never get the same shoe that you wanted, or at least that you got for the same price that you bought it
Yeah.
for, right? So, let's say like you like a shoe, but you already sold it. You can never buy
Yeah.
it, for the same
That's true.
okay,
But
same
then
price that you got
I mean,
it. Alright.
if you have a specific amount of money and then you're down $175, how are you gonna make that
so
back?
you're not doing
That's
it
true.
for yourself.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to make money.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys already don't know, we're all Indian, or we all
Brown
have,
Boys Club.
Yeah, and we all have strict parents. So, I don't know, what was your parents' first reaction when you said you wanted to start reselling shoes?
Man,
So like, this was about last year. It was start of my sophomore year. Is when I started getting into it. I've always been into
Yeah.
I've always been into fashion. Like good looking stuff. So then
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
every human.
I know that hype. I know that hype beast, like, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, get on my wave. Walmart.
no, bro, I can never live up to your
Ross.
floral
Ross.
ties, bro.
Yeah.
So like, my mom wasn't really she wasn't really with the idea. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
then,
Mhm.
yeah, and I talked to them. It took a while, and then my dad was into it, obviously, and then he's like, "Oh, this is a wonderful idea. You should totally do it."
Yeah,
'cause then-
it makes profit.
yeah,
While you're,
I mean, yeah.
it's an easy way to make money while you're still in
Yeah,
school.
still
you
in
don't have
school.
to really leave anywhere.
It's like
or
it's
do
like
anything.
it's like a part of stocks, basically. Yeah. That's what you're
and then it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
So
that's how I got started, basically. I just talked my way into it, and then I
Right,
let they let me do it. They're like, my dad was like, "Oh, it's okay if you fail, And you're just trying something. It's like now I
Right,
just
right.
turned into my hobby."
All right, yeah. So you've had it you've always had at least a support
Yeah.
system there, so that's good.
So,
So
to
Divij,
any brown
with you.
so to any brown person out there trying to make money, do exactly what Sayan tries to do.
No. Sayan would say, "Don't do what I'm doing because I will no longer be able to get the
Yeah.
shoes. So don't do it."
I need all-
Don't do
I
what
need all
Sayan's
the-
doing, 'cause
I need
you
all
know
the
he's gonna
stuff,
get it
bro.
before you. Exactly. Okay,
All right, so Divij, with you, man.
that's it.
So, third grade, bully, right? And then we started talking, and all right, middle school. Let me talk to you about a little gaming group that
Oh my goodness.
Divij started called Night Nation.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyone want to know? Look it up on YouTube.
Ah.
Night Verts, VERT3Z. Okay,
Oh my God.
this is the single best YouTube channel on the market. All right, Project 1000. No, Night Verts.
No. Project 1000, where we share our experiences and I lose my dignity. No, but no, I've always had that ambition to create. I always wanted to share and create. It was always obviously other people doing it, but this podcast, right? I wanted to share my experiences, talk to other people about them, because I always thought it was fascinating. Whether they liked it or not, it was always a good way to spend time. Sayan reselling shoes, I thought a YouTube channel would do good. But I was also a very big fan of FaZe.
Oh, phase, bro, phase up.
was
phase
my
up.
dream. Yeah, FaZe up. I know, but FaZe was my dream. That was my dream. I wanted to be in FaZe. So I, instead of trying to be like them, I was just like, why don't I just create a whole new clan? And I called it Night Nation. And then a lot of drama in Night Nation. But I remember Sayan. Ayan wanted to be on Night Nation at the very end of its career. He was like, "Yo, man, came up to me. He's like, yo, dude, you think you can get me onto Night Nation? Let me call myself Night Vortex." I was like, no, dude.
Dude, I was on that COD gang. All right, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about the downfall of Night Nation.
No.
Man's Divij gets his PS4 taken away. Okay.
Oh no.
So his dad's like, you gotta sell your PS4.
At that time, I was like dumb. I was so addicted to my PS4. I didn't even focus on work and stuff like that. So I was really addicted to it, and my dad saw that, and he was just like, it's distracting you, so we gave it away. So then after that, I was like, let's see what I can do. Let's see what other things I could do other than play COD, and my dumbass picked Roblox. I picked Roblox.
Let me tell you about a little known video. It's called Wallbang
Wall
Trick
Bang.
Shots.
So I don't know if you guys know, on Roblox, it's a game I think called Phantom
Listen,
Forces.
no one cares. Like, no one cares about
Let me explain, bro. Don't make me seem like
Okay.
a bad person.
Like,
Anyway.
no one cares. All right.
But yeah, I hit a wall banger. If you guys know what that is, you hit someone through a wall.
I told you
I
no
thought it
one
was
cares,
so cool.
man.
I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. Get to school, And I wasn't always a bully to Ayan. Ayan was sometimes a bully to me. He came up to me and he was like, dude, what is this video? This is not the cool. This is not a cool thing to do. And I was like, oh no.
Like, listen, if you know me, I will call you out.
Yeah, that's the thing with Ayan. Just like when he believes in something, he says it. When he sees something, and like obviously when he's a good friend of yours, he comes up to you and he tells you about it. And he's like, this probably wasn't such a good idea. But I was in 7th, 8th grade. So
I'll be the realest person you'll ever meet. Like, if I think you're stupid, like, I'll tell you. Like, you
straight
can
facts.
countless. Like, Sayan.
So if you want to be a guest on this show, just be careful that I will call you out on whatever dumb thing you do. But yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Like that's why I we all came up with Project 1000 because it's a podcast, and when you podcasts are something you should listen to not when you're like moving around out and about, and basically you're distracted. I think a podcast is very effective when you're sitting maybe studying, doing something that doesn't have a lot of action to it, and then you just listen to it, and that's our main aim for Project 1000. It's not just where we talk about how stupid our YouTube channels were in the 8th grade, but we also talk about experiences from different guests. Hence the next episode, which you guys definitely should subscribe. Tell people about it. But yeah, so yeah, that's why I created the YouTube channel.
Honestly, if this doesn't work, I'm not deleting this video. I promise. Like, this video will not go down. Like,
The only
this
reason
could
he
be the
says
worst
that
thing.
because people can still get to my YouTube channel from looking up the name. Bro.
Listen, maybe 10 years in the future, this will be popping. All right.
All right. So, enough about us. We talked a lot about us, but what's going on in the world? What is this Area 51 stuff, man? What the hell, bro? What are we gonna do? Raid
I'm going.
Area 51?
I'm
Yo,
definitely
you guys are
going.
going?
Like, this is like. Yeah,
Bro.
you're definitely invited. Like, please
Man, if
come.
you guys are going,
Hey, man.
I might as well just come too.
Hey, one episode we should just
Hey,
go
honestly,
into Area 51 and start a podcast.
We should all just go. Like, everyone listening to this, we
Let's
should
do
all
it.
go.
Let's do it,
Yes.
If we Naruto run. then they
Naruto,
can't-
listen, they can stop one of us. They can stop two of us. But they can't stop all of us.
All of
That's
us.
facts.
Man, that's crazy.
You know the slogan that they have for the Area 51 thing?
What?
It's, we can outrun your bullets.
Really?
Yeah, we can outrun your
Oh
bullets.
my
Like,
God. I was looking on Instagram, and I was like, "There's memes on Area 51." I'm like, "What the hell are they talking about?" And then I look it up, and I'm like, "This might be the smartest or stupidest thing mankind has ever done." I'm like, "How can you? That's like, there's always like the government and the people, right? But Area 51 to figure out what's inside, aliens and stuff. That's like
for
a
the
smart
first time,
idea.
someone's like, "Hey, bro, I'm tired of listening to these conspiracy theories. Let me go
Let me
actually
go
see
and
what's
check."
inside." And I think it was just a guy who was just like, "Hey, bro,"
Like on Facebook,
I
right?
think
He made it
he
on
just
Facebook.
did it to his friends. Like, "Hey, we should definitely go raid Area 51," and it became a trend. Like, bro, this
Exactly.
guy's smart. Why don't we go do this?
No, but it could also be very stupid. Like if people actually go, you see videos of test runs.
No,
from,
but if they're
missiles.
unarmed, I don't think they would shoot them.
Yeah,
Would they?
I don't think they would.
Like, I don't think. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, even the Air Force talked about it, and they were like,
I think
we
they.
suggest you don't do
I think
this.
protesting equipment, like they would just use rubber bullets and gas to spread them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they would hurt them. That would be so much of a controversy. Can you believe that? Can you
No, but
imagine?
that's the thing.
Can you
Oh.
imagine
See,
someone dies on the hands of U.S. military because they were Naruto running into Area 51? like the news would be, man
It's like
ran
the-
into Area
it's-
51, got shot 41 times by U.S. military.
The most savage way to die, just Naruto run into air. No, but I was reading something, and I was like, what if the government, let's say 200,000 people do go. What if the government decides, we warned them, but we're gonna shoot them down, and that's just out of control
No.
overpopulation.
What is this, the purge?
It's a
dude?
crazy theory,
This is
but
the purge. The purge. Someone from the government posted that Facebook post, and it went viral just so they could control population.
I don't know.
Confirmed.
don't
Catch
know.
me on the conspiracy theory.
What
Now, no, Project 1000 and then Project Conspiracy Theories.
Do you know what day they plan to?
September 20th.
Yeah, I believe
think it
it's
was.
September 20th.
20th?
That's 2
So
months
like,
from now.
wait, isn't September 20th the day before Life is Beautiful?
Oh.
I think so.
Hey, perfect
Oh,
timing.
maybe.
Perfect timing. That means I can
Bro.
come.
Hey, bro,
Perfect timing.
we go to Area 51, raid Area 51,
And then come back,
we
aliens.
will live stream that, and then go to Life is Beautiful and live stream that, and like talk to a whole bunch of artists. So like,
Wait.
yes, best week of podcasts ever.
You think we're kidding about the Life is Beautiful idea, but y'all, if you guys stay tuned, give us support and share. Trust me, we have plugs. We can go and do many great things for this podcast. So that's why I think, like, you know, obviously we're at a very small number and we're dreaming very, very big. But as long as you know, at least click onto the video. You know, even like if you don't like it, that's fine. Just there's gonna be different aspects, different topics during the video, right? So something that doesn't, like, you know, that's something that you don't like about. Obviously, there's gonna be something else in the rest of the video. So if you guys can show your support, then obviously, you know, we have very big ideas.
Imagine Dragons at one point, possibly. Just stay tuned
Maybe.
and see, bro.
Stay tuned.
We got them
Stay
plugs.
tuned.
All right.
Yes. But yeah, so I think that's good for the first episode. We
Dude,
talked
what is
about
that? 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Looks about
Hopefully,
30
if you guys are
minutes.
still listening to this, you guys are the real ones. But yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
If you
Definitely, bro.
yeah,
This is so stupid, but like also like so much fun.
I think yeah, it's a lot of fun. And listen, if you didn't like the first episode, you know, don't just like maybe leave or unsubscribe. But at least like comment or text us. You know, a lot of you guys who are listening know us personally, so text us, tell us what we could change, what we could make better. But stay tuned. Every Sunday we're gonna be uploading. Not a specific time. Just make sure you're there on the Sunday.
Yes.
Listening.
Every Sunday up till when we get busy,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we'll think about it.
Right. But tell us any guests that we could, you know, possibly bring up on here. But we already have a very, very exciting episode, second episode that's gonna come next Sunday. So make sure to tune in. Turn on your post notifications. But we'll always be, you know, alerting you on Instagram,
Bro,
Snapchat, whatnot.
hitting with a subscribe.
Hey,
Smash
the
the
like
like
button.
button.
smash the subscribe button.
Smash the like button. Destroy the like button.
Literally, like,
and also hit that post notifications bell.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. You don't gotta do any
you
of
don't
that.
have to do any of that. Yeah. Sayan, do you have any last words, man?
I mean, just subscribe, like, share this with your friends, you know. If you guys didn't like this,
Right.
the guests we have planned will obviously be a good highlight of this podcast, you know.
Exactly. I think we have like multiple guests that are there, but basically when we just want feedback, you know. This is a project, so it's not something that's set in stone that's going to be great. It's an idea that we all had, and it's not just us four that are going to sit down and talk. It's basically the audience. So we all of you guys to come together as a, you know, like as a community and tell us what we should talk about, who we should bring on, and yeah, it'd be very interesting.
Also, how stupid we are. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.
And we're Project 1000. See ya.